Every Sunday, Pat Sullivan from Sullivan Hardware and Garden gives us great advice for do-it-yourself home improvements. Today, he's talking about the best ways and the right time to water your plants.
So it's been just a little bit dry for the month of May. I guess from what I hear, maybe a couple inches behind normal. So I know some of us, a very few of us, received some rain a couple days ago. Now the question is, when will we get rain? But you know what? Your plants really don't care about when, they just want water. So knowing when and how much, it can be kind of confusing. You know, your lawn, for example, they always say water early in the morning or early evening, don't water at night because of fungus and such. It's like, all right, that makes some sense, but then I always think, well, there's dew in the morning, so how much sense does that all make? But whatever it is, your lawn needs about 1 to 2 inches per week, all right? So you may want to set up and have, you know, when you don't know how much rain you're getting at your house, having a rain gauge handy would be helpful, but 1 to 2 inches. The only time that you would water daily is if you're trying to get grass seed to germinate, then you want to water lightly. Other than that, mature lawns, we want once a week generally deeply. So 1 to 2 inches, and if you're using a sprinkler, or if you have a sprinkler system, everyone says, well, what kind of sprinkler do you use? You know, I figure that most of us use the sprinklers of our youth. You know, this is the sprinkler I used in my youth. You might have used the fan type, whatever. You get the water on the lawn, but putting a little tin can out at the spread of where the sprinkler's going, and then that's a good way to measure. A tuna can works nicely. All right, so we have that. The lawn is very important to take care of. Annuals obviously are really important. This is a #1 hanging basket, all right? This is what our customer turned it into in 4 days. She didn't know. She didn't know. So you have to water. Now you can see I'm not going to give up on this basket, and I fertilize it and I have it starting to come back. It's going to be a long recovery. So the annuals generally have to be watered daily, but keep in mind, so look at this pot right here, the hanging basket. See the difference in the soil mass? Well, the head of the flower is close to the same. The soil mass is very different. This hanging basket is going to need a lot more water than that one. So be careful not to overwater your pot sitting on the ground. And if you have some concern, pick yourself up a moisture meter, and that will help you out as well. New plantings out in the landscape, and I show arborvitaes because they're #1. They're a little bit shallow rooted. And you ever drive down the street and you see big rows of them that have turned brown? Well, that's generally because they either went into the winter dry or they're brand new. You've got to water these. Same thing. So I would try to figure 1 to 2 inches a week, and you want to come out to a little past the width of the arborvitae will do well. Annuals, you spend all this money on them, make sure that you fertilize them weekly. And lastly, your tomato plant. Don't overwater your tomato. Look at your tomato in the morning. If it's drooped down, that's when you want to water it. It naturally will droop down a little bit and wilt down in the hot afternoon sun. It's fine, all right? I know it's confusing, but we do need water.